So, how many dishes are in your sink right now?
I don't want to answer that on air, but there's some dishes in my sink. At least one side is full right now. At least one side is full.
I guess that's a half full kind of mentality, huh?
It can be. If you change your perspective, you change your reality. So,
Amen.
um, when I was in counseling, one of the things that we talked about from the very beginning was having indicators in my life that something wasn't right, that something wasn't going the right way. Because a lot of times these indicators will pop up, and more than a lot of times, or they wouldn't be talking about it in counseling. There's psychology backing this, and that's the only reason I learned it is because I gave a stranger money to go to go talk about how I felt about stuff and realize that I was the problem in everything in my life. So one of the things I worked on was finding those indicators in my life, and they're going to be different for everybody. But for me, it's doing the dishes. If I don't do the dishes, something bad's about to happen. I'm about to fall down that cliff. I'm coming down from the top of the mountain if the dishes aren't done, and that's just my indicator. Like I said, everybody has a different one, but I have dishes in my sink right now. I think from my perspective, it's not doing the dishes that I don't want to do. I wouldn't consider it procrastination per se. It's the anxiety of the task that's overwhelming to me, which is absurd. But the anxiety of doing my dishes is so overwhelming that I choose to not do them and cause myself more anxiety in the long run. I guess I'm gonna have to do the dishes because you called me out.
Yeah. And for me, it's putting away my laundry. It's not even folding my
Do
laundry.
you have a chair? The chair? The
No,
laundry chair?
it's just the side of my bed. I'm a degenerate. It's not even. I'm a real degenerate, because my wife is amazing and she does the laundry and then folds the clothes and then sets them next to my bed. All I have to do is put them away, and
Same.
there will be like 2.5 weeks worth. I'm actually proud of myself. I am caught up on that. I can say, but as of 2 days ago, I was not. And there was about 2 weeks worth of folded laundry sitting next to my bed, and I just grab what I need for the day and go. And I think, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. And the thing we're trying to hit with here is when you know that indicator's coming up, or you see it just eyeballing you from the corner of your room or the corner of your sink or whatever it is for you, that you know what we're talking about, that indicator that you're starting to let things slack. There's not a
If you
tension
don't
in your
feel
life.
convicted over this, you can just go ahead and tune out because this is not for you. It's not for you.
Yeah, but we're being real, and we're not perfect. And I'm too lazy to put away my wife's folded laundry. And these indicators, they're a big snowball effect. That's why we're talking about them, because when this one thing starts to get ahead of you, instead of the other way around, you'll start to see more things slip until you realize one day you're sitting on the couch watching your Netflix show, whatever it is at the time, and you're eating chips, drinking a beer, and you just feel awful. You feel like you're in a slump and you can't figure out why. It's because
It's because
you've
you
let
didn't do the
you
dishes.
didn't do the dishes. You've let these things build up, um, and you're letting them throw you around than the other way around. And thankfully, though, this snowball effect also works vice versa. When you do finally get up, and let's say it's making your bed, and you start off your day making your bed or doing the dishes or putting away your laundry, and you start your day off with that, you get that dopamine hit of actually completing a task and not being such a degenerate like us. That the next task and the next thing and the next thing is going to be easier. This is not going to fix your life. That's not what we're saying. But it is a start to seeing what's wrong, what these indicators are that are motivating you to slack off rather than to, I guess, slack on. um,
A good way to do that too is habit stacking. And the anxiety of doing the task prohibiting you from doing the task is literally making yourself miserable right now so that you don't have to be miserable in the future. But that's not how it works. If the task is going to make you miserable, you're going to be miserable when you do it. So why make yourself miserable now? Why go to work and think about, oh man, when I get home, I got to do the dishes. I have to put my laundry up. It's not happening to you right now. You have to be in the present moment. We don't live for the present moment, but you exist there. You don't exist in the past and you don't exist in the future. The only thing you can affect change on in your life is now. What's happening right now. So having that anxiety create that kind of misery in your life is just hurting you. But habit stacking is the method that I use to try to do the dishes. Like I said at the beginning, I have dishes in my sink right now. But brushing my teeth is something I've done for longer than I can remember, since I could brush my teeth, I guess. I've had two cavities in my life, and they were both when I was a kid. So I feel like I take pretty good care of my teeth, and it's a habit that I've built over time that it's just what I do. Every morning, every night, I brush my teeth. And if you attach doing the dishes to a habit such as that, something that is already ingrained in you, and you're not allowed to do that habit until you complete the one that you've attached to it, like doing the dishes, you're going to do the dishes. You're going to do it every time because you're not allowed to brush your teeth until you do the dishes, and you don't want a cavity. Dental bills are expensive. And if you've ever had a tooth drilled out, it sucks pretty bad. It sucks. It hurts. So, in order to get the drop on the task rather than the task having the drop on you, just do it now. Because if you do it now, when it's over, it's over.
Right. And this is your check engine light, to put it in easier terms. It's not that you've already gone off the cliff or you're
Your
about to
car's not
explode.
broke down, but something's wrong that needs to be fixed,
Yeah.
or it will.
And if you don't, it's gonna blow. So these are things that sure it might not happen today, tomorrow, next week, but these things build up and then they get ahead of you and they push you around and not the other way around. You can't let these little chores get the best of you because some it goes from being little chores to big chores to your attitude when you get home.
So you have to take 40 hours off of work just so you can clean up what's around your house. That I did that last week.
He busted his foot on the first day.
I did, but I took 40 hours vacation and used my vacation time instead of doing something fun to try to clean up around the house because I let myself get too busy to deal with my home environment, which is the most intimate environment we all have. It's the most important thing in your life. It is your escape from everything else. So if it's not orderly, it's not an escape. If you check into a hotel room whenever you go on vacation and it's absolutely thrashed, you're going to go talk to the manager. You're going to be pissed and you're going to want out of that hotel room. You're going to want to switch hotel rooms or you're going to want your money back because the hotel is trash.
Plot twist, you're the hotel manager in this scenario and you're sucking ass. So you need to get your shit together, is what we're saying. And you need to see that these red flags are showing in your life. And they're not red flags, they're yellow flags, but they could be red flags. And we're saying this is how we have learned in our lives to spot when we need to get ahead of whatever's coming and take a hold of the reins and really be in control of our lives by completing the things we can control before they put us in a state where when the big thing does come, we can't be in control because we're so far behind.
You know that one thing in your life that you just don't want to do. You just, and there's no reason. It's not a difficult task. It doesn't take a long time. You just don't want to do it. You would rather sit and watch Netflix instead. The whole point of any of this is to take control of your life, to become the pilot for your life or the author for your biography. Why not write your own story? Why let the world determine what your story is going to be if you can do something about it? Because we all enjoy having control over our lives. And what most people don't realize is the only control you really have is now. You can control now. You can't control others and you can't control circumstances, but you can control the way that you react and the way that you respond to everything that happens in your life. And the way that we should respond to the dishes is just do the damn dishes, man. Just do the dishes. Get out a pen and a piece of paper and spend about 10 minutes going through what your dishes are. Figure out what it is, write it down and be mindful of that. If you write it down, at least for me, if I write something down, I generally remember it a lot better. And it's just something to be mindful of because if you're able to deal with these yellow flags as they come up, they're not going to turn into red flags. It is the shitstorm insurance for your life. Having your everything squared away is the shitstorm insurance for your life because the shitstorm is going to come, but you got insurance now.
You got to set a foundation for personal development. And if you aren't building on a clean foundation, then it's going to be really hard to keep going if you can't get the basics down with taking responsibility for your
When you
life.
build a house of straw, the wolf's going to blow it down.
Yeah. And getting a hold of your self-control is part of the start to this journey. If you can't control yourself, life control you, or your nasty habits, the nasty side of you. And if you can't get these clean habits in order, you can't build a clean start on the way to a healthier you.
So, like I said, give us a like, a subscribe, share the podcast so we can reach other people and help them out as well.
Until next time, let's be a little bit better and a little more real.